I've been left alone in the kitchen again. And you know what that means. Absolute carnage. Alright, so this time what we're going to be doing is making some snacks. And we're going to be using the rhubarb puree that I use to make my energy gels. And so what this is like an oat bar. And I love this. I have these during the day at work. They keep you full. These are probably not so good for carrying on an ultra run or anything like that, because they're just not solid enough to withstand the rigours of that. But it's something healthy to snack on during the day. They're pretty good. Right, so let's get into this. The first thing we're going to need is a bowl. We want to zero that out. Alright, so now we're looking for 130 grams of flour. So we've got the big box of flour. And we'll throw in about that much. Next thing we're going to want is a quarter teaspoon of baking soda. So just a little bit of that. And then half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. So you could use self-raising flour instead of doing this malarkey. We're doing this, making our own basically. We want 90 grams of sugar. So we just zero that back out again. And grab the sugar. Now you might think we have a lot of sugar, but we don't tend to go through a lot of it. But yeah, we just buy it in bulk because it's cheaper. 90 grams. Shuffle that in. There we go. Now we need 250 grams of oats. So we zero that back out. There we go. Right, so now what we're going to do, give it a bit of a stir up, just to combine everything. Alright, so the next thing, 130 grams of vegetable oil or melted butter. So we just pour that in there. So I'm using butter because I like butter, but you can use vegetable oil or whatever you want to use. And then you just stir that around, combining everything, and just keep going. Right, so once you've got that all combined, then you'll need to put it into a tray. So if you've got a silicone tray, then you just throw it straight in the tray. Otherwise you might want to line it with baking paper or grease it up if you're using a metal tray. So we've got a silicone tray which makes it nice and easy to put stuff in and then really easy to get it back out again. So you can see that that's all nicely combined now. And it doesn't actually stick. Once you start pressing this into the tray, it'll actually stick together quite well. What seems to work well for me is you grab about a third of this and put it down in the base of the tray. And then just spread it out and just slowly pat it down, just gently. So what I'm doing is I'm compacting this down reasonably firmly, and this kind of becomes the top crust layer because we're going to flip it over at the bottom once we're finished. So I'm not actually pounding, but giving it some repeated light taps to really compress this down. And that gives it a nice solid structure. Alright, next step. So we've got our rhubarb. So I'm just going to put a layer of this on. Just spread that all the way through. You don't want to make your layer too thick, otherwise it'll make it, the consistency will be too sloppy and it'll all fall apart. Alrighty. So then the next thing you want to do is throw the rest of the mix on top of that. And then gently just spread that around. And gently just pat it down just to start with. So what will happen, because you've made the first layer quite firm, the rhubarb won't tend to soak into that so much, but because this top layer is still soft, the rhubarb tends to soak upwards. So as you're patting it down, it's going to draw the rhubarb into it. So you don't want to pat too hard. Right, so that's me done there. So the next thing to do is throw it in the oven. Right, now, so this goes into the oven on 180 degrees. For 30 minutes. And so when it's finished, we just let it cool down a bit, cut it up, and then we eat it. So I'll see you back in half an hour. Right, and so while my OG bars are busily baking away in the oven, there's nothing else to do but do the dishes and clean everything up before the wife gets home and finds out what I've been up to. So I think I should probably do that now. And there we have it, the kitchen's all tidy again. So the golden rule of having an unauthorised adventure in the kitchen is always cover your tracks. So that's what we've done here. Right, so now all we have to do is wait for our OG slice bar to be baked and then we can start eating it. Okay, so the slice has been sitting in the fridge for a bit and now it's all cooled down and hardened up nicely, so here we have it. Looking lovely. So in order to get this out, the easiest way, grab the board that you want it to go on, bring the two of them together, flip it over. And now you have a nice slice. And so now all we have to do is just cut it all up and then start eating it. And there you have it. So all that remains now is to make a cup of tea and do a product test and make sure it's all turned out okay. So I'll put the recipe in the description down below so you can have a crack at this yourself. You can throw jam in there. We've tried all different kinds of jam that works really well. I also tried the Christmas fruit mince for mince pies. That works really well. They come out really yummy and quite firm. And using the fruit and vegetable puree works really well as well. These will last a good week in the fridge, no problem. They don't tend to last that long because I tend to eat them first. So yeah, they'll fill you up, they'll keep you going, and they taste pretty good. Right then, so wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope it's going well. And we'll catch you next time. Hopefully next time I'll be out and about and not in the kitchen.